What's going on, everybody? This is DJ Paradigm. Welcome back to A Dime's Worth. I heard y'all's comments in my last video really about the differences. Everybody's talking about the SRT 1000 and the Rane One. So today we're gonna put these two controllers to the test. The Rane One and the SRT 1000. So stay tuned. I got a lot of cool tips and I'm gonna be able to save y'all some money. We'll see y'all after the jump, all right? Peace. Welcome back to A Dime's Worth. So I heard y'all's comments, of course, the differences and why someone should get the Rane One or why someone should go with the Pioneer. So I'm gonna break down the differences that everybody knows and can see, and also the hidden ones that I think you should be aware of just before you purchase either the Rane One or the Pioneer SRT. So the biggest things are, of course, the money. So the SRT, which is right here, the SRT goes for $1,300. You could probably find a deal for the SRT anywhere, wherever you look, but market price is $1,300 for the SRT. The Rane One actually goes for $1,500 right now. So it's a $200 difference. That's a big difference. And of course, everybody knows the SRT is kind of like your old Pioneer mixer, being that it has 4 channels. The Pioneer SRT has 4 channels. The Rane One only has 2 channels. Now you can hook up some auxiliaries, turntables or whatnot to the actual Rane One, but you just can't control them like you would be able to control the Pioneer. So those are the 2 big differences that we all know and we can see, but I'm gonna go through some that I think you guys should need to know about, just in case you guys want to buy this, whether you're doing mobile gigs, club gigs, weddings, private events, whatever, whatnot. All right. So one big thing that I noticed is a difference, and it could really make or break your gig, is the Rane One actually has a regular power supply cord. So say for instance you forget your power supply cord, you can get one of these anywhere, or you could use your speaker power cord, or really any type of power cord is going to plug in so you can power your controller. Now the Pioneer has a dedicated power supply source, so in order to be able to use your Pioneer SRT, you gotta have this actual power cord. If this were to go out, or you forget this cord somewhere and you don't have it, you're cooked, you're toast. So that's one big thing that I think you should know as far as the difference between your Pioneer SRT 1000 and your Rane One. So another big thing I know as far as mobile DJing and being able to take this and be portable and the convenience is the weight. So of course the Pioneer DJ weighs about 13-14 pounds and the Rane One weighs about 25 pounds. So there's about a 10-pound difference. I will say, the build of the Rane One is actually made of metal and the Pioneer is more plastic. So I feel like the weight of 10 pounds really shouldn't make a difference. But I will say the build of the Rane mixers, if you know Rane's history and you've been DJing as long as I have, I've been DJing about 20 years. The Rane 57 is about 12 years old and it still works perfectly. So when I tell you Rane puts out amazing equipment, that's not to take away from Pioneer, but just from my personal preference, I've had my Rane 57, 62, 67. I've had all of them and they all work perfectly fine and they're about 10 years old. So I also have another Pioneer mixer, the DDJ, and they work perfectly fine too. That's a big difference as far as if you want to have convenience as far as the weight and things like that. Also with the weight, I know that you can buy a soft case and a hard case for the Pioneer SRT 1000. The Rane doesn't have a case, but I have a soft case that will fit this. I'll put that in the link in the description so you guys can pick it up, and I'll show you guys a picture of what it looks like inside the soft bag case. Alright, so the biggest thing as far as differences, whether you're a turntable DJ or you started out on a controller, whatever, whatnot, you're gonna notice that this doesn't move. It's a Jogwheel. and this is a turntable, so it actually has a moving component. So if you're coming from turntables, I would suggest just being familiar with the turntable, knowing that this moves coming from a turntable to a controller. It's very simple. You kind of have to just readjust where your hand placement is, but other than that, there's not really a big difference. Now the Pioneer, it doesn't move, so there's no moving component, so you don't really get that feeling of a turntable. And I also feel like when you're DJing at private events, corporate events, or even clubs, it just doesn't look as cool. That's it. You know, a lot of times it's really the aesthetics of things, and I feel like the Rane One has that aesthetics. Also, when you're using the Rane One and you learn how to actually DJ on turntables or a moving platter, if you were to go to a club and that's all they had was turntables, you can do that because you actually know and you practiced on the Rane One. So if you're using a Pioneer controller and all they have at the club is turntables, because that's all they have, it's gonna be hard for you to adjust. So from this to the clubs and back, it's an easy jump. It's really up to you as far as your preference, whether you just want the actual Jogwheel. So the Jogwheel and the platter are the same size, so they're both 7 inches. Of course, there's a big difference as in the mixer sizes. The actual mixer size for the Rane One is about 5 inches and about 7 inches for the Pioneer mixer. So those are the big differences as far as the mixers. Let's go through the mixing portion of the Pioneer DDJ SRT 1000. So of course you have your 4 channels, you have your effects, and then you have your 4 faders as well as your cues for your headphones, your sampler, your echo, of course, your filters that you can use, and then you also have your effects that are already built into the actual controller. So that's what the Pioneer DDJ SRT 1000 mixer looks like. Here's the mixer portion of the Rane controller. It's definitely a lot smaller. The build is just a lot slimmer. Your actual controller's a little bit closer, but let's go through this real quick. You have your 2-channel decks, of course. It doesn't have the 4 built in, but like I said, you can plug 2 turntables in if you would like. The good thing about this effects is it has the dongles, so you can lock it or you can just click it on and click it off. So I really like that portion of the actual mixer in comparison to just the knobs on the SRT 1000. Let's go through the Jogwheel portion of the SRT Pioneer 1000. So if you look here, you have your 8 pads for your cue point, your hot cue, your roll, your slicer, and your sampler, and the cue and the play and the pause. So all those things haven't changed from Pioneer's other controllers. The only thing that you might notice is the shift button. So the shift button will help you cue to go from your loops, your key lock, or your key sync. It helps as far as getting to those different modes. And the Rane One also has the shift for the exact same thing. The pads are a little bit smaller in comparison to the SRT 1000, but they still feel exactly the same. So they feel really good, and so the SRT 1000s, they feel good as well. So like I said, the weight is a little bit different, but they're about the same size as far as the actual width from the SRT 1000 and the Rane One controller. Now I will say having the 4 channels is awesome for a couple of different reasons. So of course you can plug in an external turntable or a CDJ or anything like that, and you can still cut on it and also have the effects built in. The good thing about this mixer is it's a little bit wider in space as in comparison to the Rane One. So if you notice the Rane One, and you can come up close, how close the channel fader and the pitch fader are together. Sometimes, you know, if you're mixing really fast and you're not noticing because you're looking at the dance floor, you might actually hit the wrong fader. So I will say that this layout is a little bit more compact in comparison to the SRT 1000. However, as far as DJing goes, you know, whichever controller is more suitable for you, really it's up to your opinion. But for me, I can get through this. It's not really a big deal. I actually like having my turntable spin. So I know you guys took advantage of the $150 promo for the Rane One, but if you like the Pioneer SRT 1000 and you want my promo for that, all you gotta do is just keep watching the video. I'm gonna tell you how you can get my promo for either controller, all right? So stay tuned. So as a mobile DJ, I always stress keeping your cords and everything clean, even if it's just like a small corporate gig or, you know, a private party at a home. So if you notice here, there are no legs on the actual controller. So that's one difference. And the Rane One does have legs. So of course right now my cords everywhere, but in a different setting, we were in an actual gig, you know, you can tuck cords under the actual turntable just to hide your cords. And it also gives you a little bit of elevation in comparison to the actual SRT 1000. The Rane One has a Mag 4 tension adjustable crossfader. If you checked out the other Rane One video, you saw me cutting on that one and just trying to give you guys a sound quality test run of how it feels for scratch DJs. So the difference between the Mag 4 and the SRT 1000, this is a Mag fader and it's also adjustable. As far as the tension, I don't think it's tension adjustable. I don't know, I haven't really looked into that. But I will tell you the cut on this is a lot sharper than the Rane One. I think you can adjust the actual tension and the cutting time of the Rane One. I haven't done that yet. I like to be able to just learn how to adapt to other controllers, turntables, CDJs, because as a DJ, you should really want to learn how to do that just so you can be comfortable with everything. So I'm gonna cut on the Pioneer SRT 1000 for a second, just so y'all can hear the differences and how clean this cut is in comparison to the Rane One coming fresh out the box without me having to adjust anything on it. All right, so let's do that. So right off the bat, I can tell you that the cut time on the Pioneer SRT 1000 is a lot sharper right out of the box. So you might have to do some adjustments in the actual Rane One to get it to feel like you want it to feel as far as you're scratching and cutting for records. I will say I do love the fact that the actual turntable does move in comparison to the Pioneer SRT, which is just your regular non-moving controller. So I do like that. I just will say I might need to adjust the actual cutting time for the Rane One. So it's really up to you guys, but my preference is I can get used to this. I just really enjoy the moving platter. So that's one thing that I will say I do like about the Rane One in comparison to the SRT 1000. So we talked about the crossfaders. Let's talk about the up faders, your channel faders. Like I said, the Rane One only has 2. The Pioneer has 4. Just from the actual feel, it's definitely got a very sturdy feel as far as being able to push it up and down. It's really close to the pitch. That's kind of hard for me. So I just got to get used to it. If you choose the Rane One, you would have to get used to it too. You're not really going to do too much cutting on this just because it's very stiff. So let's go over here to the SRT 1000 and check out the actual up faders. So these up faders are just a little bit, they're a little bit less stiff, but you're not going to be doing too much cutting as far as your up faders for your controllers. So they're about the same. So if you actually play it on a Pioneer controller, there's no adjusting the actual jog wheel. You can't really adjust the tension on it. You know, you can't really make it harder to move or softer to move, but on the Rane One you can. So Rane One actually has the locking pin, so you can take this off right here and you can replace your slip mat with whatever slip mat you would like. I'll leave some descriptions as far as slip mats I do like, just so you can take a look at that, you know, just to give you a better feel if you would like for your actual platter. So, and that just clips right back on there like that. Like I said, I'll leave a link for some actual slip mats that I actually do like in the description below. So if you watched the last video of the Rane One controller, I showed you guys the delay between the Rane One and your Serato DJ Pro program. So let's go ahead and do that. We're gonna test the Rane One and the Pioneer. So I'm gonna drag it real slow. There's no lag time for the Rane One, so I actually like that. And if you notice, if you guys are out at the club and the record's not moving and there's a lot of low end and it's moving very slowly up against the actual platter of your needle, you'll know that a lot of times in your Serato DJ program the wave won't move or it'll jump around. So that's actually awesome on the Rane One. So now let's test out the Pioneer SRT 1000. So let's watch the actual digital readout, and you guys are gonna see the actual wave. Ooh. So obviously you guys can see that the drag time for the controller is kind of hard to tell because you have to actually put pressure and you have to know how much pressure to push to drag. So let's try it again and we'll see if that works. So you can actually see that there is a lot of lag time and a lot of delay when dragging the actual Jogwheel. And even when I had a lot of pressure on it, I could still tell that there was a delay and some lag. So that's one thing that you need to be cautious about as far as being a scratch DJ and using the Pioneer SRT 1000. So if you checked out my last video and we tested the microphone on the Rane One, definitely watch that video so you can hear how crisp and clear the actual Rane One mic input is, the sound card for the Rane One. So I actually have the Pioneer DJ SR2, and I did some research and I found out that the SRT actually has the same sound card as the DJ SR2 that I have. And I will tell you this, after doing some weddings with the Pioneer controller, the mic sound card is terrible. So if it's the exact same sound card, I'm gonna tell you it's probably not a great sound card as far as your microphone. It does have two mic inputs, one XLR and one 1/4 inch, so that's a good thing. But I will say, if it's the exact same sound card as the SR2 that I have, it ain't worth. So that's one thing. So the Rane One actually also has two mic inputs, but they're both XLR. So I will tell you, just from testing this out from the last video, the sound quality of the mic is a lot better. You can't use the effects on the actual Rane One mic inputs, but I will say the sound quality is better. So thank you guys for tuning in to the Rane One versus the Pioneer SRT 1000. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please click subscribe, leave a comment, and if you want to take advantage of my promo, $150 off either controller, all you gotta do is click subscribe, follow me on Instagram, and shoot me a DM, all right? And we'll see you on the next video. Peace.
Try that one more time?
Yeah, we'll do it.